Whether you are just starting to play Deadlock, have played several games, or are already sweating more than your mom at hot yoga trying to get MMR, I guarantee you'll learn something from this video. These tips are primarily designed for beginners, but I have some advice even early beta players will find useful. Kicking it off at number 1, we have last hitting. In order to get souls, Deadlock's form of currency, you need to get the last hit on a trooper. These are the creeps in Dota 2 and minions in League. When you get a last hit, you'll see that you get souls right as the trooper dies. Once they die, an orb will float out. To get all the souls for the last hit, you'll need to shoot the soul orb that floats up. You can just let it float up and pop, but that makes you vulnerable to denies, or enemies shooting your soul orbs. Your orbs are green, and enemies' orbs are red. You'll want to shoot your green orbs to confirm your souls, and shoot red orbs to deny souls from your enemies. One thing I haven't seen any other guides cover is that the game is forgiving, and the troopers will glow before dying if a friendly trooper or tower gets the last hit instead of you, to give you a chance to get the last hit. When you're first learning, try using a hero with spread or rapid fire like Haze, Infernus, Wraith, or Abrams. The next tip is melee last hitting. Let's just talk about meleeing first. Melee is incredibly powerful, especially the charge melee attack. You light melee by pressing your melee button, which is Q by default, and you heavy melee by pressing and holding your melee button to charge your attack. Melee is important for damage on your opponents, but you can also melee last hit to get all the souls immediately, meaning no orb will rise from the trooper for the enemy to deny. If you are playing a brawler, tanky hero like Abrams, you can play mostly around your melee. If you are doing this, I highly recommend getting the melee lifesteal item. I'll be going over a more advanced melee tips in another video, but for now, just know that it's really strong and try to add it to your game. The next tip is regarding denying souls after 8 minutes. Before 8 minutes, you get half the souls on the last hit and half from the orb, like I just explained. However, after 8 minutes, all the souls come from the orb. In the late game, you can deny whole waves for massive soul swings. So if you deny 4 souls, you'll get about 400 souls yourself, but you'll also deny 400 souls from your opponent, leading to an 800 soul swing. In this clip, you'll see me taking the enemy Guardian, securing the 3 orbs that come out of it, and then denying all 4 of the enemy's orbs, leading to that 800 soul swing that I was just talking about. Let's look at this clip one more time. You'll see me secure all 3 blue orbs, then you'll see me deny all 4 orange orbs after he gets the last hits. Now that you know how to get souls from troopers, we need to spend them, which brings us to our next tip, items and builds. You buy items from shops by pressing B and clicking on the item you want. There are 3 different types, weapon, which is your bullet damage, vitality, which is your health, and spirit, which is your ability power. You can also follow popular community builds like in Dota 2 by going to the top right corner and selecting Browse Builds. On the left side then, you will want to select Public to bring you to the Public Builds page. Click on several and see which ones catch your eye. There are more simplified ones and ones that detail your abilities and why you buy particular items depending on what you prefer. Once you play with guides enough, you'll naturally know what items are good for certain heroes, and you'll start to understand what damage, health, and ability items are best. I recommend going into the hero sandbox to look at builds and read a bit about how each hero works and how each item works before even dropping into a game. Now we know how to buy items and that we need to buy them at the shop, the next tip is buy items early. Early items are incredibly strong. When your lane dies, get back to the shop right next to your Guardian, buy your item, and get quickly back to lane. If you're getting pressured and losing the lane, buy survivability. If you're putting pressure on, buy damage items. For reference, good early weapon items are basic magazine, headshot booster, monster rounds, and rapid rounds. Good early vitality items are extra health, extra regen, extra stamina, and sprint boots. Good early spirit items are extra charge, mystic burst, extra spirit, and mystic reach. Deadlock is not like other MOBAs where the main shop is all the way back at your base, so make sure you're buying items frequently. Our next tip is relatively quick, it's shop locations. Across the map there are several shops that you can go to and buy items. The first one is in your lane before your Guardian goes down. It's going to be right next to your Guardian. However, once your Guardian is destroyed, the shop will close and you can no longer buy items from it. There are also shops kind of in the middle of the jungles on both sides of the map. Here and here. So if you're pushing and you need to buy an item really quickly, or if you're just jungling and need to buy another item that's going to help you farm, you can buy them in either of these locations. And the final thing is when you go back to base, you don't actually have to stand by the shop. You can just hop into base and buy an item from anywhere while you're standing in base. You do not have to walk up and step in front of the shop and try to buy an item. You can actually zip line back, queue it up, and then just buy it immediately, turn around, and continue farming. Moving on to our next tip, which is unique to Deadlock and makes it so much fun, and it is movement. In Deadlock, you have stamina, which is consumed when you dodge, double jump, dodge jump, you name it. They're indicated by the bars next to your hero's crosshairs. Heroes have a base stamina, usually 3, and items can give you extra stamina, like extra stamina, which I mentioned earlier. One movement mechanic I would recommend learning first is dash, jump, slide, to cover a lot of ground. One thing on movement that I would specifically like to mention is sliding. While you slide, you have infinite ammo, you can slide down any slanted surface like staircases really quickly, and it does not require any stamina. So it's a movement ability that doesn't require any stamina and can help you traverse faster, get away faster, chase somebody. I would recommend trying to just slide around the map and chaining a dash into a slide to start practicing using the slide mechanic and working it into your game. Now that you know how to move around the map, you'll find our next tip, which is jungle camps. There are small, indicated by a triangle, medium, indicated by a triangle and a line, and large jungle camps, indicated by a triangle and 2 lines. I recommend taking time to learn the map and natural rotations through the jungle. There are tons of videos out there on the best ways to do this, but since this map is so vertical, when I first started, I had no idea where any of the camps were. Yes, you could be on the location where the camp is on the map, but it could be above you or below you. Now, let's get onto some timings. Small camps spawn at 2 minutes and respawn after 4 minutes. Medium camps spawn at 5 minutes and respawn after 6 minutes. Hard camps spawn at 8 minutes and also respawn after 8 minutes. What you'll also notice while traversing the map is that there are golden idols and boxes, which is our next tip. You can get permanent upgrades from golden idols, and these are not to be slept on. If you get a bunch of golden idols throughout the game, yes, it's only 20 health, 1% cooldown reduction, but these stack over the course of the game and are permanent. So I highly recommend shooting these, seeing if something pops out, and picking it up. What you'll also see is that there are boxes around the map and other destructibles, and from these you can get souls. Boxes and idols spawn at 2 minutes and respawn 3 minutes after broken. The last tip I have for you is to utilize cover. Deadlock is primarily a shooter, and the developers have placed lots of cover for you to hide behind, so utilize it. The camera looks over your right shoulder, so always make sure you are shooting on the right side of objects to make sure that you are hiding as much of your body as you can. The developers were also really clever when making this game, and especially in the lanes, cover is placed almost perfectly for you to dash between and stay hidden. Always be aware of the natural cover around you so that you can minimize the damage you take. Thank you for watching, and I hope you learned something. Please leave a like if this video was helpful, and subscribe if you want to see more videos like this. I plan to release an intermediate tips video in the next few days and hope to see you there.